she too would be the center of attention. You see, Gerdie Baker had plans, which was probably further evidence that she was not really a Bigfoot. Bigfoots don't spend a lot of time thinking about the future. She would have to increase the 2% to 3%. She sat down on her bed and snatched a notebook off her nightstand and opened it to a math problem. This one was more complicated than anything she had ever attempted. It stretched out over dozens of pages, X's and Y's holding on to pluses and minuses like life preservers in a murky sea. Soon, she would fish them out and unlock their mysteries, and her miserable life would change forever. If only she still had her... There was a knock at the door. "Leave me alone, I don't want any cake," Gerdie shouted. But the knock came again. Setting down her notebook, she crossed the room and threw open the door. There was no one there. She craned her neck into the hallway, but it was empty. She glanced down and saw an envelope on the floor. It was addressed to her. She scooped it up. Inside was a note that read, "There are presents for you downstairs." Gerdie sighed. She might as well go down, get the presents, and get it over with. In the backyard, a sea of surprised girls stared at her. The 29% had been correct. She could almost hear the confusion in their minds as the guests tried to understand how she could be related to Linda and Luann. Maybe coming downstairs hadn't been a good idea. "Have some cake, Gertrude," her mother said as she approached with Gerdie's sisters in tow. Gerdie eyed the birthday cake. It was shaped like a megaphone, the kind cheerleaders use at football games. It read, "Happy Birthday, Luann, Linda, and G." G? Gerdie's mom looked offensive. "Honey, Gertrude is a long name. There's only so much cake. Where are all the friends you invited?" "She doesn't have any friends to invite," Linda laughed. "I used to before we moved," Gerdie cried. "I had lots of friends." "No, you hung around with the nerd herd," Luann said. "The biggest collection of waste cases in the history of Nathan Hale Elementary. Moving us here was the best thing that could have happened to you." Gerdie sighed. They had moved from Arlington, Virginia, a year and a half ago, and she had never adjusted. "Well, let's open some presents." Everyone gathered around a table stacked high with boxes wrapped in pretty bows, and Gerdie's mom handed them out one by one. It took nearly a half hour of unwrapping before she uncovered a present for Gerdie. Gerdie opened it. It was a dog collar. Linda and Luann laughed the loudest in a chorus of giggles. Gerdie wanted to throw the collar into the crowd, along with a few well-aimed punches. But her mom quickly handed her another present. "Don't be mad, the girls are just teasing." Gerdie opened the small box, and suddenly her scowl was replaced by a toothy smile. "It's an Animation 410A." "A what?" her mother asked. "It's a state-of-the-art scientific calculator with over 400 mathematical functions. It has a 2-line display with 32 levels of parentheses. It does formula notation, variable statistics, fraction and decimal conversions, Boolean operations, probability searches, degree, radian, and grad conversions, sine, cosine, and tangent calculations, as well as exponent and trigonometric functions. It also has 150 megabytes of memory storage, plus it runs off a solar cell." Gerdie stopped talking. She knew everyone was staring at her, even the party clown. "It's very advanced," she finished quietly. "What a nerd," Luann said, as she, Linda, and her mother left Gerdie to go to the patio, which they were using as a dance floor. Their mom was entirely too old to dance with the girls and their friends, but it didn't stop her from teaching them a goofy dance she called the electric slide. She was giggling like a 12-year-old. Gerdie looked around. Who would have bought her such an amazing present? She shook her head. Oh, who cared? She couldn't wait to test it.